At the beginning of the movie, we see a woman named Elise being baptized on behalf of sinful souls who have already died. The year is 2015. Elise's body is being used as a vessel so that these sinful souls can enter heaven. The priest begins reading out the names of the sinners one by one and dips Elise into the water after each name. Just then, a woman named Elma arrives and gives them one more name. After reading it, the priest warns that it could be dangerous, but Elma insists on calling out the name, saying it has been suggested by the elders. The priest then speaks the name Laru. Suddenly, all the candles go out, and an unseen force pulls Alice into the water. The priest fails to pull her out. In her panic, Alice sees a spirit outside the water, which puts its demonic hand into her mouth. Alice finally emerges, screaming for help, and the scene cuts abruptly.
Comment. Subscribe to Recaps Horror.
The movie then shifts 10 years later. We see Elise painting on a canvas, and soon we are introduced to her boyfriend Adam. The two are deeply in love. After a while, Adam leaves, and we notice that Elise has painted a cellar door. Later, Elise is gardening when she finds the skeleton of a snake in the soil. Suddenly, she seems to lose awareness of her surroundings. Around the same time, Adam arrives home and starts looking for her. He finds Elise in the garden, digging the ground with her bare hands. He rushes to her, and she snaps out of her trance. Terrified, she says she was just in the garden. Adam tries to calm her down, and we then see that Elise has dug multiple holes all over the garden with her hands. The scene cuts to Elise with her therapist. She says that every time she wakes up, she has either humiliated herself, hurt herself, or done something worse. She recalls finding the neighbor's dead dog in her garage and realizes she was responsible. Unable to live like this, she seeks help. The therapist explains that her episodes are becoming longer and more violent and suggests hospitalization, but Elise refuses. He then tells her that her mind is suppressing painful memories from her time in the church. Elise says she can remember small details, but not faces, names, or people. The therapist explains that her blackouts are caused by unresolved trauma trying to surface. He suggests trying an alternative form of therapy, and mentions that he has found some healers from her old church, located just outside Haventon. He advises her to return to the church and confront her trauma at its source. Later, we see that Adam is strongly against sending Elise back to that church. However, when Elise insists, he eventually agrees but decides to go with her, saying he won't let her face this alone. In the middle of the night, Adam wakes up after hearing a loud thud. He goes downstairs to check and notices that the light in one of the rooms is flickering. When he reaches the room, he is horrified to see Elise standing with her back to him, her hand bleeding and trembling. She then turns around crying and says that she can't do this anymore. Adam hugs her and tries to comfort her. The next day, Adam and Elise are ready to leave when Elise's best friend, Gwen, decides to join them. As they begin their journey, they come across 4 women whose car has broken down. Adam wants to help them, but Elise refuses, and the women silently stare at her as they drive past. The scene cuts to Mother Elma, where her son Hiram arrives. He is still unmarried, and Elma seems worried about him. Hiram tells her that they have a new patient, but Elma firmly states that they no longer perform such services. He then reveals that the patient is Elise, and says he clearly remembers her as a kind and gentle girl. He believes that if she is in need, they should help her. Hiram admits his past mistakes, but Elma shuts him down angrily. She insists that he only did his duty to Heavenly Father and Elise won't find no help here. Meanwhile, Elise, Adam, and Gwen finally arrive at the baptistry. Adam and Gwen question why the place is so isolated, and Elise explains that a river once flowed nearby, but flooded in 1910, washing away everything except the baptistry. As they approach it, Elise opens the door and steps inside with Gwen. It is the same place where Elise was baptized years ago. Meanwhile, Adam notices a locked cellar door outside. When he is unable to open it, he decides to ignore it. Inside, Gwen asks about the baptismal font, and Elise explains that rituals were performed there where priests and nuns helped sinful souls find peace by using a living human as a medium. Gwen asks if Elise remembers anything, and Elise says she can recall parts of her childhood. Her father was very strict because of his position in the community, and her mother was always obedient to him. She adds that the last thing she clearly remembers is the baptism, which, for some reason, was held there that night instead of in the town as usual. But she doesn't remember any faces. Gwen then suggests that they should explore somewhere else, but Elise tells her to go ahead while she stays back for a moment. After Gwen leaves, Elise opens a door and enters a room where she finds a heart carved into the wall, with her name and another girl's name written inside it, Clara. She then finds a box containing a photograph of herself and Clara. This triggers a memory, and she realizes that they were very close and deeply in love. Back in the present, Elise picks up the box to take it with her. Suddenly, she feels a strange presence in the room, but when she turns around, she sees nothing. Just then, Adam calls out to her from outside. She goes out and shows the photo of Claire to Adam and Gwen. They say it's a good thing they came there, and soon after, Elise notices a broken swing nearby and leaves. Later that night, as Gwen and Adam are setting up camp, a car arrives. Hiram and Alma step out of it. Elise realizes who the man is and says that he must be Hiram, because her therapist had already told her about him. Hiram asks Elise if she remembers him, but she says no. Adam then introduces himself and Gwen, and Hiram introduces Alma. He tells them that they need to make some preparations inside and will call them shortly. The scene cuts to Elise speaking with Hiram and Alma. She says she remembers feeling cold in the water during the baptism and hearing names being read out. She explains that these blackouts are ruining her life. Hiram reassures her that they will do everything they can to help her. He is then seen preparing a liquid while Alma performs a ritual nearby. Hiram explains that the Datura medicine he is preparing is a powerful hallucinogen that will take them into an altered state of spiritual consciousness. He tells them they must be clear about what they want to learn about themselves. When Adam asks how long the effects will last, Hiram says several hours, but they will return to normal by daybreak. Adam and Elise drink the Datura mixture, and Elise immediately vomits. Soon, both of them begin to feel intoxicated. Hiram tells them not to resist the medicine, but to listen to it, enter its world, and communicate with the spirits and with the Lord. Elise says she feels sick and asks what she is supposed to feel. Hiram explains that the experience is different for everyone. Some feel euphoria, others anxiety, and some even a sense of impending doom. Adam says he can't do this and calling himself a fraud. Elise, meanwhile, begins to laugh. Hiram encourages them to embrace the visions and their emotions. As Elise stands up, a flower falls from above. She then begins to see the floor covered in flowers moving with the wind. She then recalls her happy moments with Clara, the time they spent together and their first kiss. In the vision, Clara tells her that she is coming. Elise asks, "Who?" and Clara replies that she will show her. Elise asks, "Show me what?" and Clara answers, "Everything." Suddenly, back in the present, Elise vomits, and Hiram quickly calls Alma for help. Alma lays Elise down and uses her vomit to draw a symbol on her stomach, saying that she is a vessel of the Heavenly Father. She then pulls out a bunch of her own hair, places them on Elise's stomach, and presses down, saying they must get it out of her. Alma then puts her hand into Elise's mouth and begins pulling something out. It turns out to be a blood-covered braid. Elise screams as Alma throws the braid away, and at that very moment, all the candles suddenly go out. Elise sits up and notices that a pool of blood is forming around the braid, but only she can see it. No one else notices anything unusual. As she watches, a hand slowly begins to emerge from the blood. Terrified, Elise says that someone is inside. Soon, a dark entity starts rising out of the pool, and she becomes extremely frightened. But suddenly, the entity disappears, and everything returns to normal. Hiram asks Elise how she feels, and she says she feels better and different. Later, Elise thanks Hiram and Alma, but Alma tells them to leave the place. After walking a short distance away, Alma tells Hiram that evil is present there, and that it is her burden to bear. Saying this, she walks away. Later that day, Elise is seen having tea and appears genuinely happy. They are still in the woods, and Adam and Gwen are talking when Elise joins them, cheerful and relaxed. She says she feels great, as if a heavy weight she had carried in her stomach for years, causing stress and dread, has finally disappeared. Adam suggests they celebrate, and Elise agrees. While drinking, Elise tells them that the Datura medicine helped her recover some forgotten memories. She then talks about Clara, explaining that she was a bishop's daughter, and that their relationship was more than just friendship. She believes it was romantic. Hearing this, Adam starts taunting her, suggesting that this might be the reason she struggles to be intimate with him. Elise asks if they can talk about it later, but Adam continues, implying that she may have been cast out of the church because of it. Upset and angry, Elise walks away into the woods. As she goes deeper, she recalls moments with Clara. In the memory, Clara shows her a stone with a snake engraved on it. Back in the present, Elise finds the same stone and then discovers a cloth nearby with a key inside it. Just then, Adam arrives and begins apologizing for his behavior, but Elise is still focused on the snake-engraved stone. Suddenly, she kisses him, and the two become intimate in the middle of the woods. Meanwhile, while packing, Gwen notices a woman entering the baptistry. Curious, she goes inside to check, and eventually reaches the room where Elise and Claire's names are engraved on the wall. She notices something unusual and lights a match. In its glow, she sees a snake engraved beneath the names. Suddenly, the door slams shut, and the match goes out. Gwen starts banging on the door and cries for help. She lights another match, but it goes out again. When she lights another match, a woman's ghost appears behind her. Just as Gwen is about to turn, the match goes out again. The ghost then whispers, "Do you feel the Heavenly Father?" Gwen screams, begging to be let out. Hearing her cries, Elise and Adam rush in to help her. Gwen is badly shaken. Adam asks what she saw, but she is too scared to explain and simply says that maybe she is losing her mind. They decide to leave the place immediately, but they are shocked to see several dried trees planted in front of the baptistry. Pieces of cloth are tied to them. One tree has a rabbit nailed to it, another has a fox with smashed head hanging, and a third has a dead snake in it. Adam then realizes that the car battery is dead. Elise suggests calling Hiram for help. The scene cuts to Hiram fixing the car and advising them to keep it running for at least half an hour. He then tells Elise that Alma had sensed a spirit attached to her, and, after great effort, managed to remove it. Gwen asks him not to joke, but Hiram insists he is serious. His mother removed the spirit that was inside Elise. Elise asks him to leave, but before going, Hiram warns them that they should leave as well. Whatever that entity was, it is now free and able to do as it pleases. As Hiram is leaving, Elise asks him about Clara. Hearing her question, he becomes serious and warns her to leave the place as soon as possible, before driving away. Elise then tells Adam and Gwen that she wants to take one last look around. Gwen insists that they should leave, but Elise points out that their car battery is still charging and says she really wants to find out what happened to Clara. The scene then cuts to Elma, who is sitting in front of a mirror, getting ready. She then begins to pray and asks for forgiveness for what she is about to do. She takes a bite of food, drinks some water, and then climbs onto a chair. As she prepares to hang herself, she says, "Take my offering and grant my family peace." Meanwhile, Elise notices the locked cellar door. The scene then shifts to Hiram, sitting in his car. He takes a picture of Elise, places it inside a heart-shaped locket, and wears it around his neck. He then goes inside his house and finds his mother lying on the floor, still alive as her suicide attempt has failed. On the other hand, Elise tells Adam and Gwen, who are ready to leave, that she needs a moment alone. She goes and sits inside the camp tent. Meanwhile, Alma is lying on her bed with Hiram beside her. Hiram asks her why she did what she did, and Alma explains that the witch is growing stronger and will reclaim its host. Confused, Hiram asks what witch she is talking about. Alma reveals that it is the spirit they removed, named Laru. Hiram asks who Laru is, and Alma explains that she was once a settler of Haventon, a devoted member of the church and a mentor to young women. However, unknown to others, her deep devotion hid a corrupted and dangerous mind, that of a witch. She used to kill young women and consume them. One night, Hiram's great-great-grandfather and his search party discovered the remains of the victims. They killed Laru, but before dying, she vowed that even death would not stop her from taking revenge on the church. Alma continues, explaining that Elise's baptism ritual was deliberately held at the old font in Haventon to avoid contaminating their own temple with Elise's sin. She then confesses that it was she who gave Laru's name to be spoken during the ritual, intending to shame Elise for her actions. However, she never expected the witch to claim Elise as a host, and now Laru will return to claim her again. Suddenly, Alma hears Laru whispering her name and sees her standing behind Hiram. Terrified, Alma begins to cry, and moments later, her soul leaves her body as she dies. The scene cuts, and we see Elise is still sitting inside the tent when Gwen tells Adam to go and talk to her. Adam approaches Elise and asks if they can leave. Elise agrees and thanks him for being supportive. Adam tells her he will wait in the car and walks away. After some time, Elise hears a noise and steps out of the tent. She notices someone inside the baptistry and goes to check. To her shock, she finds Adam and Gwen together. Gwen says she cannot wait any longer, and the two kiss. Elise is stunned. Gwen tells Adam that their deal was that once Elise got better, he would leave her. At that moment, Gwen notices Elise standing there. Heartbroken, Elise runs away. Adam tries to stop her, but she runs into the woods, crying. Elise then takes out a photo of herself and Clara and hugs it tightly. In a flashback, we see Elise and Clara together, confessing their love for each other until someone spots them. It turns out to be Hiram, who was in love with Elise. In anger, he tells Alma about Elise and Clara's relationship. When Elise returns home that night, her parents refuse to speak to her. She tries to convince them and openly confesses her love for Clara. However, her father tells her that Claire claimed Elise forced her into it. Shocked, Elise says that can't be true and insists she did nothing wrong. Her father coldly replies that what is right doesn't matter if the church considers it wrong. Elise begs her father not to send her away, but he tells her she will stay in the compound until the next afternoon, when someone from an orphanage will come to take her. He says he wants her out of his house. Just then, two men arrive and forcefully take her away. Back in the present, Elise collapses, but somehow manages to get back up and keep walking. Meanwhile, Gwen tells Adam that they should leave and come back for Elise in the morning, but Adam refuses, saying they should wait for her. Frustrated, Gwen tells Adam to sleep in the car and not come with her into the tent. Adam goes to the car, where he hears a strange noise. Unseen by him, Laru's ghost walks past behind him. Suddenly, something violently hits the car, startling him. He steps out, terrified, but finds no one around. At the same time, Gwen hears a whisper calling her name. She looks outside the tent, but sees no one until she spots Laru's ghost standing at a distance. Suddenly, the ghost appears right behind her. Panicking, Gwen runs out and tells Adam that there is a woman inside. Adam checks but finds nothing. Frightened, Gwen gets into the car and drives away, leaving Adam alone. The scene cuts to Elise reaching the cellar door. She takes out the key she found earlier and unlocks it. Suddenly, the door slams open on its own. Elise slowly enters, crawling forward. Out of nowhere, Clara appears in front of her, looking excited. Seeing her, Elise becomes happy and says she missed her. Clara tells her to dig. Elise begins digging and asks what she's looking for. Clara replies that it's a surprise. Elise smiles and says she loves surprises. As she continues digging, she finds a bone. Clara tells her there must be more. Elise asks if she should keep digging, and Clara says yes. As Elise digs deeper, she finds a skull. Clara then asks, "Aren't I pretty?" And Elise replies, "The prettiest." The scene shifts to a flashback where Elise is sitting on a swing when Clara comes to meet her. Clara apologizes for what she did, saying she panicked and didn't know what to say. She asks Elise if she hates her. Elise calmly replies that she doesn't. She's actually thankful. Suddenly, Elise starts strangling Clara. It becomes clear that Elise is under Laru's influence. Eventually, she kills Clara. Back in the present, Elise breaks down in tears, realizing what she has done. Just then, she senses a presence and notices a hand emerging from behind a pillar. Elise understands that it's not Clara, it's LaRue. She says that she finally remembers and realizes that LaRue has been with her all along. She recalls the day of her baptism, when LaRue's spirit was called and possessed her. In the present, LaRue appears in front of Elise and then fully enters her body, completely taking control. Elise's body begins to convulse violently, and a dark liquid starts coming out of her mouth. After a few moments, she suddenly goes still, now completely possessed. The scene cuts to Gwen driving away when, suddenly, the possessed Elise appears in front of her car. Terrified, Gwen steps out and recognizes her. In panic, she quickly gets back into the car, but Elise climbs onto the bonnet and repeatedly smashes her head against the windshield until it cracks. She then says, "How does it feel? Do you feel the Heavenly Father?" Gwen screams and runs out of the car. Elise grabs her hand, and as Gwen apologizes, Elise coldly asks if an apology can fix anything, then breaks her hand, pulls out a bone from it, and uses it to kill her. Meanwhile, Adam sees Elise entering the baptistry and rushes after her. When she turns around, her terrifying appearance leaves him frozen in fear. Elise begins pulling out her hair and violently pushes him back. Just then, Hiram arrives. Elise says, "Flesh gives birth to flesh. Spirit gives birth to spirit." Suddenly, the baptismal font begins filling with blood. As Adam tries to escape, the door slams shut. Hiram pleads with LaRue to spare Elise, but she ignores him. She notices the locket around his neck, throws it aside, and flings him away. Then, with a chilling command to drown, she forces him into the blood-filled font, laughing as she overpowers him. Moments later, she kills him and throws his body aside. Adam desperately tries to unlock the door, but is horrified to see her feeding on Hiram's body. She then approaches Adam. Overwhelmed with fear, he kneels before her and says, "Elise, I love you." She responds, "I love you more," and crushes his head with brutal force. In the final scene, Elise, now completely taken over by LaRue, stands in front of the burning baptismal font with a haunting smile. 1 month later, LaRue is shown living as Elise, now acting as a matron figure in another church. A group of young women enters, and Elise follows them inside, eerily blessing them before closing the door, hinting she will repeat her rituals again. With this, the movie ends. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a scare. Until next time, stay spooky.